Opening face-off. It's always eventful. How eventful? Big body check. Justin falls down on himself. Oh my goodness, bodies flying everywhere. Banana peels all over the place. Alright, so after the banana peels were dealt with, so Alex does a hard stop. Does a long distance pass. And good on Lena trying to get that puck there. But yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the pathing that Justin took, right? So he was in a pretty good position to start off, like right here. Straight line path right to the net would have been quite deadly. And let's explain why. So right here, let's say Justin's got that straight path to the net. Alex could shoot it. He likely could probably even find a lane right to Justin on the pathway towards the net. But instead, he takes a really interesting route where he says, let's get as far away from Alex as possible so that he can have 3 people to send a pass through. And as predicted, easy interception, right? Versus straight path to the net, he only has to beat 1 defender. Reasonable. He's still putting it through a defender, but it's reasonable. He can Alex can change angles, a little deke this way, a little deke that way, find an angle, or he can even opt to shoot it on the net for the rebound, right? So I'm not the biggest fan of the path there. And for Alex, it's also on him to make the decision that, hey, maybe this isn't a really great pass anymore. Now I gotta get moving, right? It's just kind of like a hope and a prayer, which, you know, it wasn't entirely unexpected. So yeah. So big deke by Ray coming up, slowing down the pace, taking it wide. Don't mind that. And see, now I like Jess's path much better. It's a more, first of all, she's going towards the net, but then also note she is in front of the defender. So here we go. There are 2 defenders. Not the best ideal situation for Ray to force through, and so he decides not to force it through there. Smart decision, but Jess is in a really good spot, and now she can just easily ease her way back for a nice little rebound shot, screen the goalie, whatever. And we got a little nice triangle position with the center being the high trailer. So perfect pass, and then it looked like Kathy had it too, a good handle on it. Unfortunately, just was a little too strong pulling it back, pulled it back all the way to the slot, and then couldn't get it really clean pass to Thomas here, and so things got all garbled up. But the play there, in summary, was pretty good. And after that, last week we kind of talked about what do we want to do. We want to avoid skating in straight lines because it's really easy to defend. And Carrie Ann does a pretty good job with the body positioning, and now all she has to do, boom, is continuously angle off Russell until, boom, easy target, easy picking, like taking candy from a baby. Here's a movement through the neutral zone, not a huge fan of, and we'll kind of demonstrate. Right here, a lot of clean ice, right? No defenders. So one of the things that Kathy, I would say, should be doing is even coming in not necessarily like all the way to the boards and get in front of Ray, but really you're going to be kind of skating towards him so you're really looking at him the whole way and giving him a nice little clean option that he can lead into, right? On the forehand, and then you can start swooping back towards the middle. And it's like the same thing with Jess. I think let's finish with Kathy first of all. So continuation, terrible move, right? If she just kept going like this, right? Lots and lots of clean options for Ray to work with. Now you don't want to be right up to him like you're holding hands, but you want to be nice and close, like a good position in front of the defense, and then you can lead your way. You can actually split the D in there or whatever, right? So she opts to so a couple key factors for everyone to kind of take note. What is the problem? So right here it's pretty good. She can see him, she can see him, she can see him. Boom, turns away, and now her back's turned, right? And we all know the moment this body position, very hard to receive passes, right? Your back's slightly turned. That puck, you're gonna have to contort your body quite a bit in order to get a clean pass. Otherwise, you're gonna need to pivot, right? Versus if you're facing, this is way easier. Now, part two to that equation is she gets behind the defense. Terrible, right? How is he gonna feed a pass through to a defender? So, not the greatest pathing. Now, let's go back to Jess. One of the things I like personally is you actually take the width. So you start off on the boards, and you're going to be reading off that center. And your main goal is not necessarily you're going to be that primary first pass, right? You don't want to be expecting that Ray is going to be ripping a pass to you, but it's possible, you know, if you get up here, you could maybe force one through, but your expectation is if I am at any location and the puck gets to Kathy, where can I be that she could feed that pass to me? So that's number one. Here is okay, like where you're going. So like let's say if she got the puck here, you could probably feed through. You just start skating through like that. Now, another consideration could be, and let's just think of some hypotheticals here, is there's a bunch of people up here and you're coming up the wall. One of the things you can do, rather than like going all the way up here and then stopping, is you can mix it up a little bit. Let's say Kathy's coming up like this. You can actually start coming in and cut across and go all the way across. Now, these are all just creative ideas of cutting through the highway, but just some thoughts to think about. What you did was not wrong, Jess. It's what you did is perfectly fine. Actually, you're skating through open ice, and let's say Kathy gets you here, perfectly respectable. You know, boom, another pass right there. You can even just skate in. So lots of things to work with. So, but just creating ideas to think about. I would say the star of the show right on this clip was Kathy. And really, to further my point of not really paying attention to where you're skating through and where the defenders are, is boom, right there. Oh my goodness, the guy's right in front of me. And it's really just not paying attention to your surroundings and the path you're trying to go to. So enough of that. So everyone's going for a change here, but small note. Our first couple shifts were pretty bad, I have to say. First shift was 3 minutes, second shift also 3 minutes. So we're looking at 9 minutes into the game, only 2 shifts have gone. Now, maybe it was okay yesterday because we were running 2 lines. D was actually really good. D was actually, they changed quite a few times by this point. Our forwards, gotta say, it was pretty long. Now, one of the things we want to keep in mind is I know everyone's really eager to be on the ice for first period, but that also sets the tone for the remainder of the game. You put 3 minutes here, 3 minutes there. Third line, if we're running 3 lines, they're not even touching the ice until the 9th minute of the period. You know, it gets kind of ugly. And no one really wants to wait that long, so you know, keep it quick at the beginning, set that pace, and then it would be much smoother. So then as the game continues, just continuously rotate out. That's just a small note on shift times, but that being said, it did get better as the game went on. So that's good. We all know to keep relatively shorter shift times. However, again, if we're opening off the game with 3 minutes per line, you know, it's not great. It's not a great. So I noticed here they try to knock the puck out, right? And I'm starting to skate up in this kind of manner. And I noticed here Jess had a little moment where little freeze, right? Perhaps not completely sure where do I go, where should I go? And one of the things I kind of like to do, if you ever see someone kind of skating the circle like this, and they're up and around, is you can almost trail them like a little ghost, but spacing it out. So as I skate up, for example, you would start coming up as well, but you know, not completely trailing, but you'll kind of follow that path. And how does that kind of work out is, boom, right here, as you start skating up that circle, and then as this kind of opens up, so at that point you'll be finishing that top of the circle, and it being a left-handed shot, you're actually going to be in a really nice position. So from there, little drop pass where you can skate into it and shoot. That's totally an option. Like, a lot of options open up there as well. And then from here, you could also, whoever has the puck can open up, boom, right here. Again, you're skating into it. So that kind of play opens up rather than with that little pause right here. It's not as easy to get that puck to, right? But it's possible, but and it puts you in a really nice position rather being really on the outside of it. You're trying to bring yourself into eventually this really nice slot area, right? And so that's option one. Option two is definitely you could just stay here and still form that nice triangle. But I probably at that point I would avoid going towards the net until the puck is fed there. So that's some of the thoughts there. And then, boom, you can, like, we can kind of see right here, once that shot went off, Jess has that pretty good built into her, that intuition to boom, puck goes in the net, let's start driving, crashing the net. And so that's a really good mindset right there. And then on that reset behind the net, so Jess has got that down pat, and I'll give her, like, that's solid. And then Carrie Ann is also really good position on that board's ready to go. And we've kind of said in the past, weak side D, which is usually what that means is where this side doesn't have the puck, that D, so the weak side D, they have a lot of freedom. So option one, we could totally stay on the boards. I would say we avoid that unless, let's say, there's like a heavy puck battle going on in the corner and their defense could get it and do a hard rim around. And so what is better is I like to suggest that they come more towards the middle, but still kind of remaining on their side. And if they have a lot of freedom, right? And by that you can see, boom, so much freedom. Then I do like that high slot area. And if you really want to go hyper aggressive, magic spot, is definitely an option. But the only thing with Magic Spot is it really compresses the zone where you have everyone lumped up into the corner like this. And it's more being at hyper aggressive, being in that Magic Spot as a D is really going to be a momentary thing. You're going to want to come in, stay there for a second, and then swoop back out, and don't stay there for too long. And there's always going to be a lot of benefit of keeping width, right? And from here, we'll just show Justin almost gets the goal, hits the post, bounces out. Super close. So first goal coming up, Ray's just zooming, splits the D, couldn't quite get there. And then we've learned, go to the net if they're not going to blow the whistle. And so we see Alex has the homing missile. Boom, strips the puck off, knocks it into the net. Pretty good forecheck. Pretty good. So I thought this was hilarious. Nobody told Carrie Ann I signed the booklet for her. And then so she's off signing the puck. Face off win. Oh no, where's Carrie Ann? She's signing the book. Now, I'm not certain that we should do this. I'm on the fence on it. And so red tape's coming in, right? And obviously Thomas can't touch them. And we can see kind of Carrie Ann moving, shifting over. And I'm not certain we want to do that because it kind of does build bad habits. On one hand, it's true. We want to put red tape onto red tape, put some pressure onto them. We could say, in this case, it looks like Lena could put back pressure on her. What does that mean? She will chase down this player and stick lift. Certainly, that's one thing. And then I think in general, we may want to avoid having the lefty shift all the way across unless it's communicated with the D partner. Say Thomas, you say Carrie Ann, switch, 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 right? So that means Carrie Ann comes across and then Thomas comes back and they switch sides. That makes sense. But if we have Carrie Ann moving across, right, like this, and then Thomas staying there, that becomes kind of a problem. We can see here also Justin is playing back really far, which also, it's just kind of bad habit building in the sense that now we don't have a winger defending the defense. And so kind of we see right here, right, our left winger is all the way in front of the net, our lefty is all the way on the right hand side, so it's really all discombobulated, right? And I would say in general, if we're not in a red tape league, it is a bad habit. And now because of that, Justin's gonna have to cover a lot of distance, which results in ouch right in the hand, right? So do you want to put yourself in that position? I say no, maybe we would want to stick with more structure. And it would be better habit building. And if you do want to move across, you should communicate. Just all Carrie Ann and Thomas has to do is kind of yell at each other on the ice. You say switch, 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 and that's a better cue, right? Otherwise, generally speaking, we may want to let the winger, like the right winger, come down and cover rather than having the lefty switching across. And then car crash, traffic jam, bing, bang, boom, falling pins everywhere. One of the things, maybe on the rewind here, is so they got the red tape coming in, and Thomas kind of goes out for the poke check, the shot, and I think fine. This player actually has a pretty good shot. But in general, I think it's going to be kind of discretionary. If they're really beginner, I think we're safe to let. I think it'll be encouraging to let the really beginners just get a clean shot on Cliff, and Cliff's probably going to get a good chance at saving it. Just don't let him kind of deke Cliff's pants off, and we'll be in a good spot. So after the bowling pins happened, we kind of talked about the theme from last week. We're going to move inside, move outside, right? How it's just that theme of if you keep it in a straight line, super easy to defend, super easy to predict, right? So here we go. Justin's coming up, cuts towards the middle, right? Fair enough. There is open ice there, but eventually it does become very predictable, and then just an easy poke check right there. So we gotta go out, then probably at that point, the moment you see like how he pivots right there, if you I know this is a lot to spring, right? The moment you see that is where you boom, change directions, right? You're catching them on that momentum body weight shift to the right, and that's where you kind of mix it up, go to the go back the other way. So yeah, alternatively, yeah, if you turn on your jet boosters and just go around them like that, that's totally an option. We've definitely seen Justin skate faster than that right there. So that, totally an alternative option as well. This might be the most interesting dump and chase I've ever seen in my life. Not only that, it should have been called icing, but the goalie came out to play it. Or he doesn't even get past the blue line. What is this? Oh my goodness. So here's a clip, D to D. And we can see Fionn is looking for some passing options. Alex is okay. Everyone's okay. I think in general, speaking wise, coming back, yeah, we're coming back to the red line. So the same thing with Jess. We will probably likely want to see you come just a little bit further back. Now the reason for that is, let's say Fionn sends a pass to you, right? It's coming towards you. By the time you receive it, it's going to be very easy for this player to just come in. They can either step into it and intercept it, or by the time you receive it, they come and poke check you. So it'll just make things a little tough for you. Now, from here, Fionn says, there's some space, let me take it. Fair enough. Oh, there's a shot. Good chance right there. So, defense here gets a little loose, and you can see right here, slow change on the center, so we are missing that middle coverage for the time being. A little mini power play for the Ducks right here, and let's just kind of watch. It should be pretty recoverable, right? Kathy is already coming back here. At least she should be covering up. Let's see what happens. So boom, missed coverage right there. Not sure what's going on, right? Nobody covering there. Boom, big one-timer chance right there. And from here, right, we lose all this coverage. No one's covering who, right? Kathy's just busy staring off into the wilderness. And body positioning. We're all on the wrong side of the ice, right? And that kind of starts with there's that little bit of a panic there with Thomas coming across, right? Trying to get that puck off, fair enough. And so, but the problem is he glides past, right? There we go. Now we're on the wrong side of the ice. And so no one's covering the right side of Cliff. So one of the things we can learn from is if you're right D and you're trying to take the puck off, we're going to be careful that we're not losing the coverage body positioning, right? We're not going through unless we're very certain that we're getting that poke check off. Now let's rewind a little bit here. So where Carrie Ann is okay. It's kind of covering Nate, and eventually Puck gets to here, right? And so she will want to try to be a nuisance and hassle Nate. Maybe it would be unrealistic for us to expect her to outmuscle him, given the huge size difference. But you know, just being annoying, whacking away at it, poke checking, blah blah blah, will usually be enough. Now, obviously, we got a little bit of a challenge here with Nate being on the left side and Thomas and Carrie Ann being on the right side, and then of course Kathy staring off the distance, not covering anyone. She's not covering this player, she's not covering this player, she's not covering that player, and so we have no coverage. And so bing bing bing, whack whack whack. Right. And amazing thing is Cliff makes the first and second and third save, right? 1, 2, 3, makes that save too, and still we don't have anyone helping him out, right? And then finally, ooh, there's the final nail in the coffin. So that is unfortunate. And yeah, I mean, we can even see, I think that was Lena coming down, and we would say it's not necessarily her responsibility. Winger's responsibilities are usually going to be covering the defense, in this case 26, and the other one has come down, and that's why we see Ray covering this player. So, but she is coming down to help, which is oftentimes a good thing if things are getting ugly, which is right here. And so being there for the extra support is not a bad idea for the winger, but typically speaking, they have the freedom to stay a little bit higher. And so 1-1 game. Okay, we saw Lena a little nervous taking face-off draws here, and usually that's the case when they want to put a red tape at center. We're just going to match it with a red tape at center. Don't worry about it at this level. You don't need to worry about anyone putting all their muscle onto it and leaning down. The only thing you want to watch is watch for this hand the moment he raises up. So usually they're gonna go straight across and then it'll drop. So you just need to watch for their hand, and now the moment that hand moves, you can start moving your stick. In this case, going to be going this way or this way. Just imagine it as like a pass to keep it simple. It's just all about timing at this point, and don't need to worry too much about if you're gonna lose it or not. Don't worry about it. So Ray comes up with speed, and we just literally talked about this last week. If you're gonna send a pass before that blue line, I mean, technically Ray is okay in an okay spot, right? It's before the red line, maybe got a little bit of room to feed Kathy into. Okay, so it's not as bad as last week where we're making literal passes right before the blue line. But the thing is, if you're gonna do that, at least feed a good pass. Oh, that's soft, right? Like, it's not going to be too hard to just bring it back to your forehand and then send it a much more precise pass than just whacking it on the backhand like this. Ugh. And so, boom, now you're both at your dead stop. Instead of, you could have just carried it in and then dished it off at that point. So the zone entry right here is not the greatest, and honestly, if they were a lot meaner, think summertime, you're gonna get this is gonna get punished immediately. That D will come up and poke it off of you, and they're back the other way, right? But they're being nice right here, letting you enter the zone without much contest, and they make a save. So Yeah, make those passes clean through the neutral zone. No whacking backhand. Yeah, get it to tape to the best of your ability. Funny thing is, Jess is hauling ass, right, to get that puck. At that point, what I would have wanted to see, rather than this kind of like slow pass to Alex, right, is keep that speed, right? Boom, you're hauling ass. You don't have to sharp turn right here. You can definitely carry that speed and go all the way across. Do like a ring around the rosy and then come back into the zone like this. Find that space, right? So it's going to be kind of hauling ass, then turn up. Then you can look, you know, do I want to go this way? I want to go this way. Have a little bit of freedom, have a little bit of confidence. You definitely had so much speed. Don't need to turn it down. Like yeah, you can see how you snowplowed right there. Keep that speed. Keep going. Take it back. Yeah, feel confident doing that, especially with like being a winger there. Yeah. So we got our first penalty coming up for our power play. So what happened? Just boom. I think that was totally accidental. But they call, I'm not sure what it is, probably roughing or whatever. Just stops right in front of Nate. I watched that again, that was pretty funny. Just, whoops, he just, just straight up stops. Stop. Boom. That's pretty funny. Penalty roughing? I don't know. What do they call? Tripping? What they called? Oh, I guess they just called roughing or something like that. Alright, let's skip ahead to power play. Who do we got? We got Jess, Justin, Alex, Yon, and Dave. Oh, big pass. That was a good win by Jess. Okay. Yeah, fair enough. Oh, they got number 5 out there. Oh, Alex with the... Okay. Alright. You said? Ugh. Works out. Okay, not bad. So, right here, probably a little hyper aggressive. Um, with okay, so Fiona has jumped up. Maybe she was first one in, and one of our forwards, especially our intermediates, Alex, Justin's got to read that and be not super aggressive. So, first play is down. Like at this point, Alex, you should probably like this is probably your limit of how deep you really want to go on this power play. Boom, right there. That's probably too much. And so we're lucky in the sense that they're not able to handle the pass, and then it's an odd man rush the other way. But you know, these are bad habits that we don't want to build just because of skill differences. Okay, so let's continue. We got 45 seconds left. And people in that still. Dave's coming in, carrying the puck. Fair enough. Ooh. Space out, space out, space out. So here's another kind of example of too focused on maybe in puck scoring or goal scoring positioning right here, rather than like at this moment when you see Dave battling it hard, you would probably want to see Justin start hustling out to help him out, like get some passing options, and then Jess same here. Like you could probably, Jess is probably okay to help battle that out, and then Dion will want to hold that blue line. Just we're giving support options really. And then at this point, the moment this part opens up, right? You see that, like if Justin goes from here, sees that he's got that puck, then you can start shifting back. Is the like what I think would have been a better thing, and we kind of want to start spacing out for passing opportunities. So like maybe if Ian goes over here, this comes about, everyone opens up, spreads around, work that cycle, like move the puck around on that power play rather than forcing it through. Like right here, boom, it's kind of a forced pass. See how body positioning, this guy's in front, Justin's behind. It probably would have been better if we just moved the puck around, like kind of force the players to come towards you and get the clean passes rather than forcing it through, like we would on a 5-on-5. So kind of work that advantage on the power play. And so, okay, yeah, number 5 is pretty good. So clears it out, fair enough. He's going for a change, Ford's going for a change. We got Lena, Ray, Kathy out on the ice. I think 30 seconds left on this power play. Let's see what we can do with it. Coming in, oh, dangles, number 16, goes for a shot. Fair enough. Fair enough. And power play over. So, yeah, there's some thoughts there. I still think we definitely want to move the puck around a little bit more. Find the open lanes rather than forcing it through. So, kind of make more use of the power play space that you're given. Alright, so defensively, Lena certainly doing a little bit of puck chasing mode right now. So we gotta kind of work that off of you. And what is it that you want to do? And we'll kind of break it down here. And it's getting a little messy here. Same with Carrion. Carrion's a little chasing. So positionally, we want to think of for the wingers, and also importantly, Ray is on the wrong side. So that's not good. All right, what do we want to think about? Usually, there's going to be a left defense here, and well, let's just mark it left D, and then right D. Usually, we want to have our right wing covering the left D, left wing covering the right D, and then there's going to be 3 forwards. We'll call it X, X, and X, right? Whichever is, we can draw, this is the goal post. Now, whoever is closest to the short side post, which means, let's say the puck is over here, whichever is closest to that post that is closest to the puck, that side's defense is going to be the one pressuring. So it's on the right hand side, right D wants to come pressure. So whoever that player is over here. At that point, center is going to want to bias to that short side post, and that left opposite D is going to bias themselves to that far side post. Far side meaning the post furthest away from the puck. And at this point, you want to find who are the 2 forwards closest to these posts. In this case, this one's a left D, this one's a right D. We don't know that per se. You know what? Let's run the tape a little bit. Pause right here. So left D, right D. And what we want to focus on is, so the puck's on this side of the ice, and we have Thomas there. So that's good. And short side post, who do you want to identify? This is the identification marker. The center is going to want to stay somewhat close to them. Far side post, who's the closest to the far side post, is going to be this forward right here. And so Carrie Ann wants to, being the lefty, cover this player. And they're right D and they're lefty. So lefty, you're going to want to stay between the puck carrier and this defense. So you're going to generally want to be in this kind of vicinity. You can put pressure on them, but your most important job is going to be covering this D. And Ray, being on the wrong side of the ice, he should have been covering this player. But we're okay right now, nothing's too stressful. We do have 2 players in front of the net, but nothing too crazy. And ultimately, that's what we want to cover. So for Lena, any new players, what is it that you want to cover defensively? That is what you want to cover defensively. So a little confusion going on here with Ray and with Justin. Our left wings are deciding that they don't want to be left wings. Who knows why? I don't know. And so Ray, on the opposite, like the previous clip, decided that he wanted to be right wing and was standing in the right wing spot. Now Justin says, hey, I don't want to be left wing, I want to be center. And so what do? He just decided to, let's hold hands with Alex down the middle of the aisle. I don't know, maybe there's a wedding ceremony going on. Right? But now Dave doesn't have anyone to pass to on the opposite side. So it's a little confusing, right? Now, we can argue that the moment you see this, so for Alex, you see Justin says, hey, I don't want to be left wing right now. We got that concept of the 3-lane highway. Do we want to be stuck in traffic with multiple cars? Why don't we just switch lanes? Oop, go over to the left lane, and Jess, come on over here. That right lane. That board looks really juicy for you. And so now we're all concentrated in the middle, not a lot of places to work with, and so passing out of the zone becomes difficult. Still works, but you know, at that point Dave could have easily just said, well, I have nobody to pass to. My left wing does not exist. Our centers are all the way over here. You know, I could definitely just skate up on my own. And also Jess could probably like want to take the advantage of that right lane, right? So we're all 4 players on that middle lane of the highway. A little bit of a traffic jam going on, right? So unique. And so we have a penalty coming up, the one from Justin, and anyone wondering what's going on is right there. That was the boo-boo. So right here, chasing after him, fine. Stick lift, fine. It's when he turned his stick over and you can see, ooh, really hooking on, right? And so hooking penalty. What is a hooking penalty? It's whenever you hook your stick around a player. It doesn't have to be the body, it can be the stick as well, and you are impeding them from moving forward. That is a hook. So that's what the penalty is. You can see here, boom, he's really dragging hard, slowing him down, and that's the penalty. And so he's still able to power through. Ooh, big body contact right there. Still able to get a pass through. Ooh, one timer. And then penalty. What's the penalty? It is hooking for Justin. So yeah, misconception. Don't think that hooking is only for the body. If you wrap it around a stick, you wrap it around anything, and you're preventing them from moving forward, that is a hooking penalty. It's not always called, but why risk it? Alright, so penalty kill. Who do we have on ice? We got, looks like Jess, Kathy, Carrie Ann, and Thomas Alright, red tape on red tape action. 50-50 action. Kathy going in, going out. Pretty good. Got a little pressure on her left side. Still going down. Hard stop, good. Now remember, with the penalty kill, we're just trying to kill time. We don't need to be hyper aggressive. So Thomas, definitely want to probably stay back on that blue line. Don't want to be too crazy. Same with Jess. That's fine. Don't want to be like right up at the blue paint. But certainly that is perfectly fine. You could offer assistance like being on the opposite side, so pass back and forth for between the two forwards. But again, we're trying to kill time. We don't have to be super aggressive. And Kathy's doing a good job being annoying right there. And then Thomas is going deep. Fair enough. Now, you see how Kathy dumped it downhill. Now, if she really wanted to be a really greasy penalty killer, what could she do differently? She could be so annoying by just skating it all the way back into zone, and then turning around and dumping it back down the ice. Like, how annoying would that be? That's like extra greasy. But this is perfectly fine. Now, at this point, just start backing up, look for the passing options. Coming down, cover those passes, back door. See, we're all stuck puck watching, right? We're ignoring that back door. Very dangerous chance. Possibly coming up. Okay, right? So, something to be mindful of. Okay, fair enough. Ooh. Now, positionally, this is going to be a little bit new for Lena. Is what do we want to do now? The easiest penalty kill formation is right D takes one side of the box, left D takes one side of the box, and then two forwards. And you're going to form a little box, which is called a little box. And your main focus is just trying to prevent any pucks going through into this area, right? In that little area. Now, to expand upon this, if we're really good skaters, you can expand that box. You can make it a little big box, and that's a pretty effective manner of doing the penalty kill, covering that center of the ice. So I can see here at this point, just want to shift Lena to here, and we'll have a nice little box formation going on, and that should do the job of covering all that center of the ice. Now, if we want to start getting a little complicated, you can definitely start to form. We'll just start expanding some other common penalty kill formations. You can have someone back here, someone back over here, and like this one guy high, and it's really forming a little diamond. And why? It's still achieving kind of the same thing. You're trying to prevent pucks going through the middle, but why do we want a diamond? And that's usually if we have players on the left, playing on the right, for those one-timers, and just trying to be a nuisance. A little harder to keep track of, but it is another method. It's not bad. And then if we really want to get complicated and talk about a lot of extra skating, there's something called the little triangle +1, where usually it's going to be the 2D, and then someone right in the middle. You're forming a little triangle. It's really just protecting in front of Cliff, making life miserable for anyone there. Anyone like Justin that likes to camp the crease, you're just having 3 people being mauling the guy, and you want a really powerful skater up high, and they're going to be chasing down the puck left and right. And it gets a little complicated in that chasing the puck onto one side, if they pass across, whoever's at that tip of that triangle will start chasing that way, and then whoever was there will come back to fill. This is really complicated. we don't really want to talk about that. So the easiest method, I like to say, that little box formation, very easy to visually see everyone in it. Kind of see here, we're in actually pretty decent formation, but again, if we're not focused, you can see how we're all so focused on that puck carrier. Whoever's in front of the net, definitely gotta tie him up. And so, big chance right there. Lost a little bit of focus. So again, right, we can see how you don't form that box. Right, we're getting a little loosey-goosey, a little trapezoidal action. And so, again, our main focus is to protect this little area of the ice. Get a good clean pass to a red tape. But Thomas shuts that down pretty quickly, unfortunately for that red tape. But yeah, you know, that's fine, fair enough. Again, here Carrie Ann scanning up, we like to see that. But again, what is our primary focus on the penalty kill? We're just killing time, so if she wants to just ring around the rosy behind the net without passing out, that's a totally effective method. Don't need to quite pass it out, like how she tried there. Again, we're still trying to kill time. Don't focus on offense just yet while we're down one person. And then if we're too aggressive, like how we saw right here, right, we're too happy trying to create offense on a penalty kill. Right, Alex is charging after the puck rather than focusing on defending. Some scary stuff like this can happen. Right, we're a little flat-footed. Big chance to shoot on Cliff rather than focus on defense. And now penalty kill's over. Justin is coming out, and so we're back to 5-on-5. And then now we can start focusing on offense. We wanted to show this one just because Ray had the goalie dead to rights. Oh my god, this whole net wide open. And this really also kind of want to showcase how Magic Spot, you got a pretty darn good angle on that net, right? So boom, big shot, but aim is just not there. Decided to hit the guy in the pads. Now for Lena, I did want to see this, and he's starting to cruise in, and he sees Ray cutting across. And one of the things you can certainly think about is if you're the first person in the zone, first person without the puck, you can want to start to cruise towards the net. And the first instinct you probably want to think about is get somewhere close to the net. So cruising across, and then from here you just want to slide across the net just somewhere in that crease, and if the puck does not get to you, you can definitely shift off to behind the net as a little support position. So that's something you want to think about. And so maybe it's just hypothetical, if you cruised there, like from here, just get across the net, that little rebound, possibly you would be able to knock in, get a touch on that puck right there to knock it into the net. That's just theoretical, not necessarily going to happen in this case. But if you're not really sure where to go, when you're, some of the principles is first person in the zone without the puck, just make your way towards the net, just create some diversion, And then from there, you can decide you can come back up, you can go beyond the net, blah, 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 go over here. But the first thing is you just want to draw people towards you, create some chaos in front of the net. Okie dokie. I'm really surprised you didn't get a penalty for that, Justin. So, yeah, you could argue it's only waist height. I've been told as long as it doesn't really raise off the ice, it won't count as a slap shot. You can clearly see it's like a half wind up. So yeah, I'm honestly surprised you didn't get a penalty for that one. But pretty cool to show. Alright, so puck's coming up here. Again, we're trying to see our fingers are coming up. Definitely a little bit of chasing on Alex's part as our center. What are you doing up there? Big interception. So that's pretty good. Yeah. Yon gets it, dekes out the red tape, decides to take it all the way herself. Oh my goodness, boom. Scores the goal. That was pretty slick. So also for Lena, after you take the face off, just you can definitely just switch off to right wing. Don't need to worry about playing center at the moment in time. You can see how looks like you just wasn't quite completely sure where to go, so definitely can just switch off right away. Yeah, keep it simple, keep it simple. Okay, so this one is for everyone, but for this case it is Kathy's the subject, and we've kind of talked about it in the summer, but for everyone that's new, one of the things is, so a couple clips ago we said for Lena is first person without the puck, you're trying to create a little bit of create chaos and trying to get somewhere towards the front of the net. Now it's going to be kind of flexible, especially on these kind of situations where there's more ice to work with. And the first thing is you're trying to find open lanes, right? Here's a lane, and maybe look for those are the lanes. Now, part two to this equation is at some point you do not want to be on, so this is the defender, you don't want to be on the opposite side. And to make life easier for you, especially if you're a like you're on the off wing, so in this case she's right-handed on the left-hand side, is at some point you're going to want to curl in and start facing the puck carrier, right? And that's going to get you in a really strong position to receive and to shoot either one-timers or whatever, but it's always going to be in your forehand, right? So right here, rather than cruising like that, eventually you probably want to cut across, get yourself inside in front of this player, and so that's something you may want to think about. And also with a little bit of speed, you can also create a little bit of chaos and just curl up really fast, get in front, look for those tips, look for those rebounds, right? It's ways of communicating, right? So if you want a shot, you can definitely just point your stick at the goalie, right? And then if I see, like, whoever has the puck, they see that you're pointing at the goalie, you think shoot, right? If you're want it on your stick, then you put your stick down, whatever. Just ways of communicating. At this point, get a free pass to Lena. Really nice. The way she trailed in was really nice, forming that little triangle. Really nice spot to possibly get a shot there. Couldn't quite get it off, but that's okay. That's not okay. Big pass up to Jess. Now this looked worse on the bench, but seeing this is it wasn't as bad. Yeah, you can kind of clear. Jess is looking down at the puck, goes for the shot. Definitely, obviously has a lot of pressure coming in from another red tape behind her, and then their D. Fair enough, they're just putting their kind of body in the way, but not doing too. They're not going too aggressive on you, and unfortunately, you just eventually run into a brick wall. Bing, bing, bong. We got some bowling pin action going on. Fine. Yeah, it looked worse from the bench. It's not so bad looking back at the tape. So defensive wise, we haven't been able to nitpick you guys too heavily because most of the zone entries have been done by red tapes. Now this one is actually, Phelan's doing actually a pretty good job here. And one of the things I kind of want to break down is for all defense is when they're coming up, you want to find a way to control your pace so that you're still maintaining kind of a backwards momentum, but controlling that gap, which is, it's very hard to do. Going to take a lot of practice, and you're going to control yourself so it's going to be 1-2 stick lengths away, and you're going to start to put a lot of pressure right around this zone, and that's going to be like that kind of no one shall pass Gandalf zone. And really that blue line is going to be that last form of defense where you're going to try to make their life miserable, poke checks, whatever, blah 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 blah, force them to make a move. And so not bad, this gap's actually pretty decent. If you're able to mix in that poke check to make him a little more miserable, it's going to be more effective. And then as you can able to move laterally left, move laterally right, and follow them into the boards, it's going to be even better. So it's going to be kind of a step process. Here we can see Dave's, I think, is that Dave? Could be Dave. Yeah, it looks like Dave. He's a little passive. He's a little far behind. In this case, it's okay. But again, we can hold that gap a little bit better on that blue line, it's going to be better, right? So he's started that retreat a little early. So what does that mean? He's going to hit that blue line earlier. And so let's say Nate decides to cut this way. He won't be in a really good position to make his life miserable. Versus, it's a little bit better here, right? The gap's a little bit better, so more pressure is being applied. Unfortunately, she pivots, but falls, and he is able to get a shot off. But we're working towards that. So for all the defense, Thomas, Carrie-Ann, Ernest, anyone else that's going to want to play defense, also applicable to wingers and centers, right? We can definitely hold that blue line no matter what. And so if you can work on that skill, that gap control is going to be really, really important as we get better. Kathy, you did it again. Gets it nice, and then just I mean, it's not the worst. It's not the worst. But I think, like, same with Ray, right? He does this, like, knocks it backhand. I don't know. Maybe I'm a bigger fan of bringing it forehand. You go but loaded forehand and get a really accurate pass onto that tape. Than I am just knocking it in the area. That's totally offside. How do they not call that? That's crazy. Is it? Maybe it's not. Maybe that's the strategy. Just throw it into the zone so you can get in. Alright, this one's not the worst, but it was kind of the same theme of last kind of game where we're just kind of throwing area passes, lobs before the blue line. It can go wrong most of the time, but yeah. So Ray's doing some fancy moves. He did it again. Why do you do that? Why can't you just tight turn and protect the puck? Like, put a gap, put the puck away, use your body as the shield. Then he goes like this. Oh, what an easy poke check. Oh my goodness, so easy. So easy, Ray. Kathy's barreling in, and her famous move, hard stop. Not bad spot, way Jess. I think the only thing is, in my opinion, maybe a little close, And again, it's not a bad position. It's not a bad position. I almost would have. I think personally, for me, what I found has worked better is you just stop a little bit higher. So, so you stopped here, right? Fair enough. And the only thing I say is maybe start off a little bit here. And what is the difference? What is the difference is that, let's say Kathy puts a pass this way. And so you're gonna have to turn around and pivot around. And it's a lot of turning and body positioning, right? It's less room for error, right? Right here, you got a kind of backhand, blah blah blah. Versus, if you start a little bit higher, you can almost like skate into it. You can really power into it. Wherever it goes here, you can kind of skate into it, receive and shoot. If it goes, you know, in front, then it's just straightforward, go in, receive and shoot. So that's really the only adjustment. I mean, here you got a really good chance right here. Boom, backhand, whack, couple whacks. Fair enough, right? And I think this was a good chance too. Thomas gets a shot, tip. Ooh, almost. It honestly sounded like it went in the back of the net. What? Oh, it was just this paddle hitting the ice. Okay, yeah. So, just kind of some thoughts there. All right, so here defensive coverage getting quite loose. So lefty typically gonna want to cover this player. Now in this case, Carrie Ann and Thomas have switched around, so we can treat Thomas as the lefty, Carrie Ann as the righty. And Carrie Ann's got pressure on that player, and Lena, you're gonna want to stay between their lefty and their left wing. So position here is perfectly fine. The big one is Kathy. So as the center, she wants to figure out who's that most dangerous player closest to that short side post, and it's going to be this player. And I'm kind of there, but though it's not. So she's kind of definitely puck watching, right? And so we catch. Oh goodness, we're a little late on that. Big chance. So that's the center's job. And so we are caught puck watching a little bit there. So they've called timeout. Minute 30 left, 6-on-5. They got their kind of ringer on the ice. Okay, fair enough. Putting a lot of pressure on him. How's the coverage? Coverage is okay. Better need to focus on 31. Oh my gosh. So again, here we're getting caught puck watching, right? We're so focused on where the puck is, we're forgetting, wow, some backdoor players right here. We're actually forgetting a lot. We're forgetting 31, we're forgetting these two, right? We're just doing so much chasing, right, that, oh my goodness, could have been a goal right there, right? Big save, and then bodies flying everywhere. Dave's in the net. And then Ray Tries to skate it out. Good effort. The only thing is he should have chipped it right here, and then he can go after it. So if he took that play in the first period where he dumped and chased, this would have been the perfect spot, but gets poked, so not so good. Dave dumps it down, I think goes for an icing, and the video's frozen. Okay, skip ahead, blah 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 blah, bum, 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 bum. Some change in personnel. We got Justin, we got Kathy, we got Fee, Jess, and Dave. Again, who's our winger? Why is nobody covering this? Where? Who is the winger? Is it? It's Justin, right? Why are we screening Cliff? Oh my goodness. So, boom, that's another big mistake. Like, Justin, you're so used to playing net front, you're trying to like screen Cliff, right? And so, my goodness, no one goes for 26. The most. Let's kind of break down the face-off right here. Okay, so fair enough. Fee wants to take the face-off. Okay, I don't know who's playing D, whatever. But the most dangerous person on the ice right now is the one lining up for that one-timer right here. And everyone backs up. Immediately, someone should have been Kathy. Should have been up in the face of 26. Don't know why, but they should have been. And then immediately, we should have identified backdoor. That should have been Justin, instead of screening Cliff, making his life a little bit more difficult, right? Makes a save, and boom, holy cow, that is the save of the night. That's crazy. Like save of the month, maybe save of the season, right? So big mistakes were made there. Got block, fair enough, dumps it out, gives him chance number 2. Got block, so Hans is a little predictable in that sense. Backhand into the net, so excellent goal, but easily could have been a tie game, and certainly some mistakes were made on that face-off. Definitely want to watch out for that. I don't think anything else happens, but let's just kind of watch. He's coming barreling in with speed, shot on net, misses the net, tries to skate it out to get it off. Good play, Thomas. I think that's game. 3 seconds. Got. Oop, game over. Yeah, so we got fortunate with that empty net goal. Leading up to it before was not so good defensively. Certainly some things we can improve upon. And certainly some of the things everyone should be watching out for. Like, who's the most dangerous person? Am I covering them? Am I blocking Cliff? Can he see the puck? Things like that. Otherwise, good game. First win of the season.